Welcome in, everybody. We're diving deep today into using journal prompts for recovery.
Ooh, interesting.
Now, recovery can mean a lot of things, right? We could be talking about healing from like a physical injury
Yeah.
or even emotional distress.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you're just feeling a bit lost
Right.
and you need to kind of find your way back.
I like that.
So to help us on this journey,
Okay.
we're going to be looking at an article from Lestallion.
Lestallion.
It's a website all about journaling.
Cool.
And the article is called 50 Journal Prompts for Recovery.
Okay, that's a lot of prompts.
It is. And you know what's really cool about this approach?
What's that?
Is that it recognizes that recovery isn't just about fixing what's on the outside.
Right.
It's about looking inward, too.
Absolutely.
And the author, Clara Penrose, she really emphasizes how powerful journaling can be to guide us through that process of healing from the inside out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So let's break down these 50 prompts.
Okay.
They're organized into these categories. And I got to say, this is where it gets really interesting for me.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
We've got reflecting on the past, embracing the present, looking toward the future, processing emotions, and rebuilding yourself.
Wow, that's quite the range.
I know, right?
It really does seem like it covers like every stage of recovery.
It's like having a roadmap.
Yeah.
And what I think is really brilliant is that it recognizes that recovery isn't linear.
You're so right.
Sometimes we need to look back.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we need to be present.
Yeah,
And sometimes we need that little push to look ahead.
definitely.
Okay, so let's start with reflecting on the past.
Okay.
I know this one can be a little tough.
Yeah, sometimes you just want to forget about it.
Exactly, like just move on.
Right.
But these prompts, they seem to be more about understanding the past, not dwelling on it.
Oh, okay, that's a good distinction.
Like there's one prompt that asks you to write a letter to your past self
Oh, wow.
from a time when you were really struggling. And, to offer yourself the words of encouragement you might have needed back then.
That is powerful.
What will you say to yourself? It's incredible because it lets you tap into this, like, wellspring of self-compassion.
It's so true.
It's recognizing that we all go through tough times
We do.
and that we deserve kindness from ourselves, too.
Even from ourselves.
Yeah, it's like rewiring that inner critic,
Totally.
Instead of beating ourselves up about the past,
Mhm.
we're offering support and understanding.
And by revisiting those past experiences, but in a safe space, like in our journal,
Right.
we can actually start to process them in a healthier way.
I love that.
We can start to see how even those painful experiences maybe shaped us.
So we've talked about reflecting on the past,
Yeah,
but we also need to ground ourselves in the present.
the here and now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the embracing the present category.
Let's do it.
What prompts stood out to you in this section?
Okay, so there's this one that asks, what is one small victory you've experienced today?
I love that one.
It seems simple,
It does.
but it's really about shifting our focus to the positive.
Yeah.
Like recognizing that even in the middle of challenges, there are still things to celebrate.
And to be grateful for.
Absolutely cultivating gratitude.
It's so easy to get caught up in the big picture of recovery
Right.
and totally forget to acknowledge those small wins.
Those little steps forward.
But those small steps, they add up, right?
They really do. They're what lead to those big changes.
Absolutely. And they also contribute to our sense of self-efficacy,
That belief that we can actually make progress.
which is so important in recovery.
Especially when you're feeling overwhelmed or discouraged.
Okay, so we've reflected on the past, we've grounded ourselves in the present. Now let's look ahead to the future with the looking toward the future prompts.
All right, looking ahead.
These seem to be all about hope and possibility.
Oh, I like that.
And a sense of hope is so crucial in recovery.
Couldn't agree more.
One of the prompts asks you to imagine yourself a year from now fully recovered. Okay.
How would your life be different? What would you be doing?
I love that.
This type of visualization can be so motivating.
I bet.
It helps you create a tangible image of the future you're working towards.
It's like planting a seed in your mind and watching it grow.
Exactly. And it's a reminder that even though recovery can be tough, there's light at the end of the tunnel.
There really is.
It's not just about reaching a destination, though.
Right.
It's about the journey itself.
Absolutely.
Another prompt asks, what are you learning about yourself through this process?
Wow.
Recovery is such a journey of self-discovery.
This is making me think about how journaling can be a powerful tool for anyone, not just those in recovery.
It really can be.
It's about taking the time to connect with ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
understanding our thoughts and feelings, and creating a vision for the future.
You're right. It's about taking ownership of our story.
Exactly. And these prompts offer a framework, a starting point for that exploration.
You do.
So,
And speaking of exploration, the next category, processing emotions, really dives into the heart of it all.
yeah, it feels like this category acknowledges that recovery can be like an emotional roller coaster.
It is.
And it gives you the tools to like ride those waves.
Exactly. One prompt that I thought was really interesting is, what emotions are you struggling to process during your recovery?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
It can be.
But isn't there something kind of liberating about just acknowledging those tough emotions?
Absolutely.
Like the fear, the anger, the sadness, just getting it all out there?
Especially in the safe space of your journal.
Yeah, no judgment.
Journaling really gives you that space to just untangle all those complex emotions
Right.
without worrying about what other people think.
And you can explore your feelings at your own pace.
Exactly.
You know, there's a prompt here that reminds me of what we were talking about earlier with self-compassion.
Oh, yeah.
It says, write a letter of forgiveness to yourself for any mistakes you've made during your recovery.
Oh, wow.
That's a powerful one.
It is, because recovery isn't about being perfect.
It's not.
It's about progress.
And this prompt really encourages us to be kind to ourselves.
Yeah.
To recognize that setbacks, they're just part of the process.
They are.
It's about letting go of that self-blame.
And making space for growth.
And speaking of growth, the final category, rebuilding yourself, focuses on how transformative recovery can be.
It recognizes that recovery is not just about going back to how things were before.
Yeah.
It's about becoming a stronger, more resilient version of yourself.
Yeah, using what you've learned to create something new.
Exactly.
There's this one prompt that really resonates with me. What are 3 qualities you admire in others that you would like to cultivate in yourself?
Oh, I like that.
It's like looking at recovery as a chance for personal growth.
It is, and it shows how important role models and inspiration can be. It encourages you to think about the qualities you want to have.
And then actively work on them.
Yes.
Another prompt asks, what are you most proud of yourself for accomplishing during your recovery?
It's so important to celebrate those wins.
Both big and small.
It helps to keep you motivated
It does.
and reminds you how far you've come.
You know, going through these prompts, I'm struck by how intentional they are.
In what way?
Like, they're not just random questions. They're carefully crafted to guide you through this process of self-discovery and growth.
That's a great observation. They're like
Yeah.
catalysts.
Yeah.
They push you to ask the tough questions and confront those uncomfortable truths.
And ultimately to understand yourself better.
And isn't that what recovery is all about?
It really is. It's about that inner transformation.
That shift in perspective that lets you move forward.
With hope and purpose.
Exactly.
Right.
You're reclaiming your story and stepping into a future full of possibility.
It's like you're taking all these broken pieces and you're putting them back together, but it's even stronger and more beautiful than before.
It really highlights how creative recovery can be.
Yeah.
You get to shape your own journey.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into these journal prompts, what's the one thing you hope listeners will take away from this?
I really hope people see that journaling can help them through every aspect of recovery.
It's not just about writing down what happened.
Right. It's about understanding your emotions, your thoughts.
Opening your spirit.
It's about making all of that visible.
And giving yourself permission to be vulnerable.
To be messy, to be human.
All in the pages of your journal.
Yeah.
Before we go, I want to leave our listeners with one final prompt.
Okay.
It's inspired by the article, but it's not actually one of the prompts.
Gotcha.
Imagine you're fully recovered. What advice would you give to someone just starting their journey?
Wow.
What would you tell them about the power of journaling?
That's a great prompt. It really makes you think about what you've learned.
And when you share that wisdom,
Yeah.
you're helping yourself grow even more.
It's like this beautiful cycle of healing.
If you want to explore journaling even more,
Mm-hmm.
Lestallion's website is a great place to start.
I'll have to check it out.
They have these prompts and so many more.
Yes.
And remember, you're not alone in this journey.
We're all in this together.
Every step you take, even the small ones,
Yeah.
they're all victories worth celebrating.